the cold metal table pressed against Yuna's fragile body. Her emerald skin, once vibrant and smooth, now carried the marks of countless experiments. The sterile white room echoed with the soft hum of mechanical equipment, a constant reminder of her endless nightmare. She remembered the day they captured her. Her research vessel had been exploring a distant star system when the Krell warship appeared without warning. Within moments, her entire crew was eliminated, and she became their primary specimen. The researchers moved around her like emotionless machines, their multi-jointed limbs carrying strange instruments that glinted under harsh artificial lights. Each day brought new torments. Sometimes they would inject her with unknown chemicals that burned through her veins. Other times they would attach small metal devices to her temples, measuring her brain's responses to various stimuli. Pain was her only constant companion. She had long stopped screaming. Her voice had become a broken whisper months ago. The facility was underground, buried deep within a lifeless asteroid. No natural light ever penetrated these walls. Yuna had lost all sense of time. Days blended into weeks. Weeks into what felt like endless cycles of suffering. She was no longer just a subject. She had become a mere object of scientific curiosity. Her people, the Lyrian species, were known for their remarkable healing abilities and telepathic connections. But here, isolated and continuously drugged, those abilities had been systematically suppressed. The Krell researchers were meticulous in their approach, understanding every weakness of her biological system. Sometimes, during rare moments of consciousness, Yuna would remember her homeworld. The emerald forests, the crystal lakes, the warm community that had raised her. She was a xenobiologist herself, dedicated to understanding different life forms. The irony of her current situation was not lost on her. Now she was the one being studied, dissected, analyzed. The lead researcher, a towering Krell named Vox, would often observe her with cold, calculating eyes. His species believed in pure, scientific advancement without any consideration for individual suffering. To them, she was just another data point, another opportunity to understand the complex biology of alien races. Her body had been modified multiple times. Strange implants ran beneath her skin, monitoring every biological function. Sensors tracked her heart rate, brain waves, cellular regeneration. The pain was sometimes so intense that she would drift into a state between consciousness and complete shutdown. The other test subjects in the facility had long since died. She had watched them one by one succumb to the brutal experiments. Their screams had eventually faded, leaving only her as the primary subject. The Krell were patient, understanding that a live specimen was far more valuable than a dead one. Yuna's mind, despite the physical trauma, remained somewhat intact. She had developed a survival mechanism, a mental technique that allowed her to disconnect from the physical pain. During these moments, she would imagine herself floating in the vast emptiness of space, free from the constraints of this sterile prison. The latest experiment involved testing the limits of her cellular regeneration. They would intentionally cause massive tissue damage and then observe how quickly her body could repair itself. Each time they pushed her a little further, a little harder, recording every microscopic change. Her hope had almost completely disappeared. Almost. There was a tiny spark, deep within her consciousness, that still believed in the possibility of escape. She had no idea how or when, but something told her that her story was not meant to end here, trapped in this cold, unfeeling facility. As another researcher approached with a new set of instruments, Yuna closed her eyes. Another cycle of pain was about to begin. Yet something in the distant universe was slowly moving, a chain of events that would soon change everything she knew about her current existence. The experiment was about to begin. Again. The USS Horizon cut through the darkness of space like a silver knife, its hull reflecting distant starlight. Captain J. Park stood on the bridge, his eyes fixed on the holographic display showing strange energy readings from a remote asteroid sector. Something about these signals felt wrong. "Captain, we're detecting multiple anomalous signatures," said Lieutenant Kim, her fingers dancing across the sensor controls. The readings were unusual, a mix of biological and technological emissions that didn't match any standard galactic communication patterns. Jay Park had spent 20 years exploring unknown regions. His intuition, honed by countless missions, told him this was more than a simple navigation exercise. The asteroid belt they were approaching looked lifeless from initial scans, but the energy signatures suggested otherwise. The ship's advanced scanning systems began probing deeper. Each layer of electromagnetic interference revealed fragments of information. Faint life signs flickered in and out of detection range, like distant heartbeats struggling to be heard. "Zoom in on Quadrant 7, Jay commanded. The holographic display expanded, showing a complex underground structure hidden beneath the asteroid's rocky surface. The design was clearly not natural. Precise geometric patterns indicated artificial construction. The crew worked silently, each member understanding the potential risks of investigating an unknown facility. Humans had learned through decades of space exploration that not all discoveries were friendly. Some secrets were better left undisturbed. Lieutenant Park, no relation to the captain, began analyzing the structural composition. "The facility appears to be a research station," he reported, "but something feels off. The energy consumption doesn't match standard scientific protocols." Jay studied the data carefully. Years of diplomatic and exploratory missions had taught him to read between the lines. These energy signatures suggested something more sinister than simple research. They indicated continuous high-intensity biological experiments. The ship's communication systems picked up fragmented transmission signals. Most were encrypted, but brief moments of clarity revealed disturbing keywords: specimen, experimental, phase, cellular degradation. Each fragment painted a darker picture of what might be happening inside that facility. "Prepare reconnaissance drone," Jay ordered. The drone, a sophisticated piece of technology smaller than a human hand, would provide visual confirmation of their suspicions. Its advanced sensors could penetrate multiple layers of shielding. As the drone approached the asteroid, the crew watched with growing tension. The first visual feed revealed a stark, clinical environment. Metallic chambers, advanced medical equipment, and something that looked horrifyingly like containment units for living subjects. "My God," whispered Lieutenant Kim. The drone had captured an image of an alien figure, clearly injured, clearly suffering. Her emerald skin stood out against the stark white environment, a beacon of life in a place designed to study and potentially destroy that very life. Jay's hands clenched. His mission had always been about exploration, understanding, and when necessary, intervention. This looked like a clear violation of interstellar sentient rights protocols. Whatever was happening in this facility, it would not continue. "Prepare. Extraction team," he commanded. "Full tactical gear. Medical support on standby. We're going in." The crew understood the complexity of the mission. This wasn't just a rescue. This was a potential diplomatic incident. If this facility belonged to a recognized galactic civilization, their actions could trigger significant consequences. But some principles transcended bureaucratic considerations. The basic right of sentient beings to live without suffering was universal, and the humans of the USS Horizon were about to remind the universe of that fundamental truth. As the ship began its approach, the asteroid facility remained silent, unaware that its dark secrets were about to be exposed, unaware that a rescue was imminent, unaware that hope was arriving, dressed in human determination and powered by an unbreakable moral compass. The mission was about to begin, and nothing would stop them from uncovering the truth. Lieutenant Hyun Kwan checked his tactical gear one last time. The extraction team moved like shadows, their advanced exosuits absorbing and reflecting the facility's ambient light. Each member understood the mission's critical nature. They weren't just conducting a rescue, they were about to challenge an entire system of scientific brutality. The facility's outer defense grid was complex, but human technology had come a long way. Microelectronic disruptors began systematically neutralizing security systems. Cameras went dark. Laser grids flickered and died. The facility's automated defenses became nothing more than expensive decorations. Hyun's team moved in. Perfect synchronization. Two members worked on bypassing electronic locks, while others provided perimeter security. Their suits' advanced camouflage technology made them nearly invisible against the sterile white walls of the research station. The first resistance came unexpectedly. A Krell security patrol rounded the corner, their multi-jointed bodies moving, with mechanical precision. But the human team was faster. Tactical pulse weapons fired silently, dropping the security team before they could raise an alarm. "Facility layout confirmed," whispered Park, the team's technical specialist. "Primary research chambers are 3 levels down. Multiple life signs detected, but most appear to be in critical condition." Each step took them deeper into the heart of the facility. The environment grew more clinical, more disturbing. Sealed chambers lined the corridors, each containing evidence of experiments that pushed the boundaries of ethical scientific research. Hyun's tactical display showed a critical life sign, a single alien subject showing more stable readings compared to others. Her biological signature matched the initial scans from the USS Horizon. This was their primary target. The team encountered more resistance. Automated defense systems activated, but human technology proved superior. Precision laser cutters sliced through reinforced doors. Electronic countermeasures neutralized complex security protocols. "We've got company," Park warned. Additional Krell security teams were converging on their location, but the humans were prepared. Tactical grenades filled corridors with electromagnetic pulses, rendering enemy technology useless. Hyun reached the primary research chamber. The door was massive, protected by multiple layers of security. But human determination was stronger than any mechanical barrier. Specialized cutting tools began dismantling the door's locking mechanism. Inside, the scene was worse than their initial scans had suggested. Multiple containment units held various alien specimens. Some were clearly deceased. Others showed signs of prolonged, brutal experimentation. The smell of chemicals and biological decay filled the air. And there she was, the alien girl they had come to rescue. Her emerald skin looked pale, her body marked by countless medical interventions. She was barely conscious, yet something in her eyes suggested an unbroken spirit. "Target secured," Hyun reported through his communication link, preparing for immediate extraction. The rescue was not without cost. 2 team members sustained minor injuries during the final push, but their training and advanced medical technologies meant these were nothing more than temporary setbacks. As they prepared to extract the alien subject, Hyun noticed something remarkable. Despite her condition, the girl showed no fear. Instead, there was a quiet strength in her eyes, a resilience that spoke volumes about her species' capacity for survival. The facility's alarms began to blare. Automated defense systems made their final, futile attempts to stop the extraction. But human technology and human determination proved insurmountable. "We're going home," Hyun whispered to the unconscious alien girl. His voice carried a promise of safety, of hope, of a future beyond this nightmare. The team began their extraction, carrying not just a rescue target, but a living testament to the triumph of compassion over scientific brutality. Each step took them closer to freedom, closer to healing, closer to justice. The mission was almost complete. The real journey was about to begin. The medical bay of the USS Horizon hummed with quiet intensity. Bright lights and advanced medical equipment surrounded the fragile form of Yuna, her emerald skin now connected to a web of healing technologies. Dr. Seo, the chief medical officer, worked with precise movements, her hands dancing across holographic interfaces. "Her cellular structure is unlike anything we've seen," she muttered to Captain J. Park. The alien's body showed remarkable resilience, fighting against the trauma of months of brutal experiments. Nanobots moved through her bloodstream, repairing damaged tissues, healing wounds both physical and molecular. Yuna drifted between consciousness and deep healing sleep. Fragments of memories flickered through her mind. The cold research facility, the pain, the endless experiments. But now something was different. Soft sounds of machinery, gentle vibrations of a spacecraft, warm ambient temperatures replaced the sterile coldness of her previous prison. The medical team worked in shifts. Each hour brought small improvements. Her vital signs stabilized. Damaged organs began regenerating. The nanobots discovered and neutralized multiple experimental implants, slowly removing the Krell researchers' invasive technologies from her body. Captain Park watched from the observation deck. He had seen many rescue missions, but something about this one felt different. The determination of his crew, the systematic way they approached her healing, spoke of something more than just a standard extraction. Dr. Seo noticed unusual neural patterns. Her brain shows incredible adaptability, she explained to the captain. The experimental procedures should have destroyed her neural networks, but instead, they've created new pathways. She's not just surviving, she's evolving. Days passed. Yuna's consciousness began to return in small waves. First, just brief moments of awareness, a hand moving, eyes flickering, then longer periods of wakefulness. The medical team monitored every change, every tiny improvement. On the 7th day, she spoke her first words. They were in her native language, soft and barely audible. The translation system struggled to catch the full meaning, but the emotion was clear, a mix of confusion, fear, and something else. Hope. The ship's counselor, a specialist in interspecies trauma, began gentle communication attempts. They didn't rush. Each interaction was carefully designed to rebuild trust, to show that she was safe, that she was no longer a subject of experiments. Yuna's body continued to surprise the medical team. Her healing abilities were far beyond human understanding. Wounds that would take months to heal in humans disappeared in days. Cellular regeneration happened at speeds that defied medical science. Captain Park visited her regularly, not as a commander, but as a protector. He would sit quietly, sometimes reading reports, sometimes just being present. His presence seemed to have a calming effect on her, a silent promise of safety. The crew treated her more than just a patient or a rescue subject. Small acts of kindness appeared everywhere. A crew member would leave a soft blanket. Another would bring her special nutrient solutions designed to match her biological needs. The ship became a healing sanctuary. As her strength grew, so did her curiosity. She began asking questions about the humans, about their ship, about the mission that rescued her. The counselor carefully guided these conversations, helping her process the trauma while building new, positive experiences. Her medical file became a source of fascination for the ship's scientific team. Each scan, each test revealed new mysteries about her species' biological capabilities. But more importantly, each test showed her increasing strength, her remarkable ability to survive. 2 weeks after the rescue, Yuna took her first walk around the medical bay. Supported by Dr. Seo, she moved slowly, her emerald skin now showing signs of renewed vitality. Her eyes, once dull and defeated, now carried a spark of curiosity and determination. "Welcome home," Captain Park said simply. It wasn't just a greeting. It was a promise of protection, of healing, of a new beginning. The rescue was complete. But her true journey was just beginning. The interstellar tribunal chamber was silent. Hundreds of representatives from different alien civilizations watched as Captain J. Park presented the evidence against the Krell Confederation. Holographic displays showed detailed records of the illegal research facility, brutal experiments, and systematic violations of sentient rights. Yuna sat nearby, no longer the broken prisoner from weeks before. Her emerald skin now glowed with renewed strength. She had become more than a victim. She was now a key witness, her testimony devastating to the Krell's defense. The evidence was overwhelming. Thousands of documented experiments, hundreds of alien subjects killed or permanently damaged. The Krell researchers had transformed scientific exploration into a nightmare of systematic torture. Captain Park's presentation was clinical yet powerful. Each piece of evidence struck like a precision weapon. Medical reports, detailed research logs, visual recordings from the rescue mission. The Krell representatives shifted uncomfortably, their multi-jointed bodies betraying their growing anxiety. "These are not isolated incidents," Park declared. "This is a systematic approach to scientific research that completely disregards fundamental rights of sentient beings." Yuna's testimony came next. She spoke quietly but firmly. Her voice carried the weight of her experiences, describing months of pain, isolation, and continuous experimental procedures. The translation system struggled to capture the full emotional depth of her words. The tribunal's preliminary vote was unanimous. The Krell Confederation would face complete scientific isolation. No research institution would collaborate with them. No space exploration permits would be granted. Their scientific community would be cut off from the Galactic Research Network. But Yuna wanted more than punishment. She proposed a comprehensive program to help other survivors. Her own experiences would become a foundation for understanding and preventing such research in the future. The USS Horizon became more than a rescue ship. It transformed into a symbol of hope for species who had suffered similar experiences. Captain Park and his crew worked tirelessly, documenting everything, ensuring no similar facility could operate undetected. Months passed. Yuna began working with the ship's medical team, using her unique biological knowledge to help other rescued subjects. Her healing abilities and scientific background made her an invaluable resource. The human approach fascinated her. They didn't just rescue her, they gave her purpose. They respected her as an individual, not just a research subject. She learned their language, their customs, their deep commitment to individual rights. Scientific institutions across the galaxy began studying the rescue mission. The humans had done more than save a single life. They had challenged an entire system of unethical research. Their actions sent a powerful message about compassion and justice. Yuna's own people, the Lyrian civilization, eventually contacted the USS Horizon. They were proud of her resilience, amazed by her survival. Diplomatic channels opened, with humans playing a key role in reconnecting Yuna with her cultural roots. The Krell Confederation's reputation was destroyed. Their research facilities were systematically investigated. Many researchers faced criminal charges. The galactic scientific community implemented new, strict ethical guidelines. Captain Park received multiple commendations, but he considered the real reward to be Yuna's recovery, her newfound strength, her ability to transform her trauma into a force for positive change. As the USS Horizon continued its mission, Yuna stood on the observation deck. She looked out at the vast expanse of space, no longer a place of fear but a canvas of infinite possibilities. Her emerald skin reflected the starlight, a living testament to survival and hope. The medical team watched her quietly. Dr. Seo smiled, understanding that some recoveries went beyond physical healing. Yuna had not just survived, she had reclaimed her entire existence. 1 year after her rescue, Yuna published a comprehensive report about her experiences. It became a crucial document in interstellar ethical research guidelines. Her voice, once silenced by brutal experiments, now spoke for countless voiceless victims across the galaxy. The reclamation was complete. Humanity had proven that compassion could be the most powerful weapon in the universe.